Hi everyone, it's Alia or Cake Legend, and since Halloween is coming very soon, today's video is a decorating tutorial on this Halloween themed stripe cake. We're gonna start with our cake already stacked and chilled and ready to be masked. I'm doing an 8-inch cake here, and if you're unsure how to stack and fill a cake, I have a tutorial up for beginners. Now I'm masking the cake with just some white vanilla buttercream, and I'm skipping the crumb coat because I love it. I also have a tutorial up for how to do that, but like I say in almost all of my tutorials, do whatever you're more comfortable with. If you prefer a crumb coat, go for it. And if you'd rather do a different color other than white, please feel free to do that as well. So now that we have the cake all masked, we're gonna give it just a couple scrapes so that it's smooth, and we can come in with our comb, which is what we use to create those stripes. We're just gonna pass it over just once, maybe twice, to create those little gaps where we're gonna fill in our second color. It should look something like this. And then we're gonna put that in the freezer to chill for about 5 minutes. In the meantime, you're gonna create your second color. I decided to do black, so I am just dyeing this buttercream black, which does require a lot of food dye. I don't really recommend doing black buttercream, but we did it for the aesthetic today. Once that is all ready to go, you're gonna grab a small piping bag, no need for a metal piping tip, and you're going to put your buttercream straight into there. Just cut a hole that's small, but not too small. I would say it's about the size of like a number 8 round Wilton piping tip. Then we're gonna take our cake out of the freezer and start filling in the little grooves. Make sure you're being generous with the buttercream here because the white buttercream shouldn't move now that the cake has been in the freezer. It's just the black that we want to fill in every little crevice. Once everything has been filled, we're gonna go ahead right away with our scraper and start smoothing it out. I know at this point you're probably thinking, oh my god, disaster, but we're gonna put it back into the freezer for another 5 minutes or so. Take it back out, and then with a warm scraper, you're gonna go and scrape it again to reveal those nice clean lines. To warm up your scraper, you can either run it under hot water or just have like a little bucket of hot water nearby. Make sure you dry it off before you scrape the cake with it, or you could also use a torch to heat up your scraper. And you're going to pass over those lines as many times as you want until your lines look clean enough. I didn't want mine to be perfect because I wanted to add this black smeared on the top as well, just to add to the overall look. But if you want them to be clean, you could even put the cake back in the freezer and take it out and scrape it again. Having the buttercream very solid, cold, and hard is what will help you achieve the desired effect. Now we're just gonna clean off the cake board and get rid of all of that buttercream so that we can go in with a sprinkle mix of your choice and pack that along the base of the cake. If you didn't want to use so many sprinkles on the cake, you could also just pipe a buttercream border and then throw sprinkles at it instead. After you place your sprinkles, it should look something like this. Next, we're gonna go and add a drip. I'm using orange candy melts, which I melted and mixed with vegetable oil until I got the right consistency. However, you could also use a white ganache if that's easier. To pipe the drip, I transferred it to a small piping bag and cut a small hole, and then I just pipe it along the edge of the cake enough to like let it start falling naturally, and then I just squeeze harder where I want the drops to be longer. I use this same technique whenever I do a drip with ganache as well. It's just a lot of going back and forth until it looks the way that I want it. And I'm only doing my drip on the edge of the cake instead of covering the top because I do want to be able to see that white and black buttercream. However, this is another one of those things where it's like, if you want to do it, go ahead. This is your cake and you can do whatever you want to it. With the drip, the cake should now look something like this. Now we're gonna go back to that black piping bag and squeeze out everything that was in there before, and then I'm going to cut the hole a little bit bigger so that I can fit a bigger piping tip in there. I'm using a 1M Wilton piping tip, and I'm gonna fill that back up with buttercream so that I can pipe this border on top. To do this effect, you're just going to pretend you're piping like a rosette or just like a little circle even, and you're just gonna go around and around in a continuous motion until you've gone around the whole edge of the cake. The goal here is to be consistent with the motion and the way that they overlap, as well as the size. And if you ever have to stop to refill your piping bag, stop at the bottom, not the outside that people can see on the front of the cake, or the inside that they can see on the back of the cake, or the top, but the bottom of the little swirl that's gonna get covered up by the next one. So after piping that, the last step was to top the cake with the same sprinkles that I used at the base, and then the cake was finished. Here it is in the nice lighting by the window. I think it turned out super cute and it's so easy to make. The only thing that takes a little more time is the stripe effect on the sides, but it's a great addition to this Halloween themed cake. And you can even switch up the colors and use this design for any theme. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!